We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Call this meeting to order. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting, 1/13/26? Are there any edits or changes? Can I get a motion to approve? Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion second. All in favor? Motion. Anyone? We're all ayes. We're good to go. I can count to 4. Anyone who wasn't upstairs, Mayor John is ill today, so I'll be taking the meeting today. We have an opportunity for public comments. The general comments and comments about the agenda today. Is anybody like to make a comment or a discussion with the board? All right. Thank you very much. So that would be a no. All right. Public hearing on local law number 1 of 2026, amending the Village Code of Lima Code to allow for abatement of violations. I'll pass this along to our legal counsel.
Yeah, it's just a law that allows it makes it more easy for the village to pass along certain costs. For instance, if someone applies for this is a different law. This is the law. If there is someone has a violation, ongoing violation, that the village has to step in and correct, the village is allowed to charge that person, that property, for the cost to the village, and also add it to the taxes inside. So, example I always use: if someone doesn't mow their lawn for 6 months and the village has to do it all summer, then can charge that cost to the village onto the property owner and eventually put it on the taxes if it goes unpaid. So it's pretty standard law. Most municipalities have it. We do not, but we will, I suspect, in a few seconds.
Is there any discussion on the board level? You all had a chance to review that. You make a motion?
Hey, could I just ask a question? So is there some kind of process that goes through with the person? Like they just
There's no
they just don't want to do it. They refuse to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the culmination of an enforcement process, the end of an enforcement process. And if we're actually taking property, to be an extreme example, there would be due process and opportunity to be heard as well.
So they could go to court.
It could.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so that would be, I think, an unusual situation, but yeah.
Do I have a motion from the board member to accept past law, local law number 1 of 2026? So moved.
We can keep the public hearing open. If
Oh,
you want, or you don't have to. But
I thought we had a public hearing last meeting.
no, this is the public hearing.
This is the public hearing,
Yeah.
so we'll keep this public hearing open for 60 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
How about a half hour?
Ben's optimistic. Half hour it is.
How about a half hour?
Make it a 30-minute.
Yeah.
Come on, like 7:30.
Seven was early before.
All right. Next on our agenda, public hearing, proposed water and sewer base rate increases for multi-unit dwellings.
Someone want to address this?
Sure, I will. So, I'm trying to write too. So what we're looking at doing for all of the multi-dwelling units, so apartments, trailer parks, and rentals that we have here, is to adjust the base rate to, instead of, most of these properties are just receiving one base rate. And now we're going to adjust the base rate for each one of these properties to pay a base rate per unit. So all properties will be paying the per thousand rate, just as residents do, but all of the rest of those multi-dwelling units, if they have, say, 10 apartments in that complex, those properties are now going to pay 10 base rates, 1 per apartment or unit that's in there. So with this, the way that the village is also getting the units is going to be based off of what the assessor has for each one of those. And then if there's any adjustments that need to be made, the big thing would be like trailer parks or something like that, those adjustments would be made like on a yearly basis, based again off of what the assessor has listed for units for them.
Other villages, counties, and things like that, this is how they do it. We're trying to just get things caught up to where it is.
How many more base units, Alyssa, would we be adding, you doing this?
I don't.
About, maybe?
We did go through and take a look, and we did a visual count. The village crew actually went out and we did a manual count of some of the places and verified it against some of others. It was a considerable
It was a
amount.
yeah. I know I don't have my number right
Like maybe
on me,
100?
but it's a. Oh, there's more than
More
100.
than-
Oh, more than 100.
It's a significant increase, and adjusting the base rate to bring all of these multi-dwellings up to having a base rate for each one of the apartment in turn also makes it so rates don't need to go up.
Yeah. And the purpose of the base rate was to have everybody contribute to the capital costs that are always there, no matter
Mhm.
whether you use
Correct.
water or not.
Yep.
Okay.
Have a motion to open the
Well,
hearing?
I have a question.
Have a question?
Yeah, so is the, determining the number, is it based on potential occupancy, actual occupancy, the number of water meters that are?
Potential. So if you have 3 apartments, let's say you have 3 apartments, you're gonna get charged for the 3 units. If one of them is down and out kind of thing, and is not gonna be for the whole year, that would be something you'd have to bring to us in like January. I'm just kind of saying this off the thing, and say, hey, look, this is a renovation, it's down the entire year. For that year, it'd go back down to 2, and as soon as it became good again for the following year, it would then be brought up.
But it's not based on the number of water meters on the
No,
residence?
no, because so there's no difference, let's say you're a mobile home park, right? Has one big giant water meter comes in, they have 17 units. Some of them are only getting charged for 12 units, they have 5 that may be unoccupied, but at any point during that given year, they could have it. If you have 17 units, you're gonna get charged for 17 units. Yeah.
But where is the water meter is what the increased, cost to the villages. What's the, you're imposing additional costs on people that have multi-units, but they're still having to break all that apart.
So
They're
what,
doing all the work.
I guess the other thing that we've gone through the county, so what's the difference if someone lives at a home, a senior, living in a house, 1 meter, 1 unit? You have 3 apartments with 1 person living, it's the same thing, So we're trying to go for each unit, each dwelling, you're gonna be charged a base rate for, because we have to run the pumps, we have the same water mains that feed it, same water service, same crew that has to monitor it. For each unit, each dwelling that you have, you are going to get charged 1 base rate. Your per thousand then is all on what you actually use for those 3 units and everything else. But the base rates are based on what the demand is on the system, the people taking care of it, the pumps, the motors,
But the demand on the system is the amount of gallons that go through the meter. So if I have my own home and I consume 30,000 gallons this month,
Yep.
right? And Mr. Waddick owns an apartment building with 3 apartments and they consume 30,000 gallons a month, our rate should be the same because we're consuming the same amount of water and putting the same amount of strain on the water system, but he's getting charged 3 base rates and I'm only getting charged 1, even though we're consuming the exact same amount of water each month. Why is he paying more than I am?
There's things that go into the billing, go ahead.
Just if you have a multi-dwelling, at least on the sewage side of it, that's many more people sending product to the wastewater plant.
Yeah, but then if that was really true, then I would be consuming more water because every time I flush the toilet, more water has to come in. So 30,000 gallons in is 30,000 gallons in. Whether it's being used by 10 people or 2 people, I'm paying based on the amount of water that I consume through that water meter. Now, if you say, hey, you got 3 water meters, you got to pay 3 base rates. I completely understand that.
Right.
But the amount of water that I consume is the amount of water that I consume. And if I have 2 apartments and they still consume the same amount of water that, you consume at your house because you like to take long showers, 30,000 gallons is 30,000 gallons. I don't understand why Mr. Waddick has to pay more because he has 3 apartments. He's still only consuming 30,000 gallons. He's being penalized for bringing, apartments and places for people to live in the community.
The usage is the usage, and we understand that. However, if you have that many apartments in this instance, you're using 3 as a lower number, but most of these people have a lot. It's a higher demand. The meters are going to ending up dying out sooner. The pumps are still pumping that much more water based on your units. There's a lot that goes into it as far as the count. Like I said, the counting, however, this is a common practice coming around. And for the units, there is a unit-based rate charge that we do.
And I can add my perspective. I live at home and have, let's say, I live at home and have a teenager who likes to take very long showers. But I have 3 people in my household, and we use 30,000 gallons of water. My teenager moves out to their own apartment. They're now an adult. That adult they do things like pay taxes and support the infrastructure of the place she lives. So that apartment that she's in is now something that she, as an adult, is paying to maintain for the rest of the community.
No, she's renting. That's the landlord's responsibility. That's not her job to support
Well,
the community.
I've
That's the
been-
landlord's job. That's what
I've
I'm
been
saying.
a landlord.
gallon in is a gallon out.
Right.
And 30,000 gallons into his house versus 30,000 gallons into my house is the same amount of strain on the pump, is the same amount of strain on the sewer treatment facility. It's gallon.
And we
in, gallon
use
out.
water as an indicator of sewage, but it's not a direct indicator of sewage. So
I think you're discouraging people from providing that information about apartments that they have. I think you're discouraging people from having apartments in the village, which everyone says is an issue. There's not enough apartment living, not enough spaces available. You're discouraging people from doing that because now they're getting hit with another cost that most other residents don't face. And just because the county does it doesn't mean it's right.
I think it's too to help spread the cost through everybody, because right now we have trailer parks that have one base unit that they're paying, and they have 20 trailer parks, 20 trailers in there. Like, I look at myself and I look at my neighbors. I know that my family of 5 uses a lot more water than my neighbors who are 2 old people on both sides of me. And they're still paying a base rate even though they use a lot less water. So the 3 of us are we're each being paid a base rate. And so if I go to a trailer park and I look at them, each 3 of them, whether they're using 30,000 gallons or 1,000 gallons each month, should be paying that base rate.
Maybe there's a difference between a small, somebody that has 2 or 3 apartments versus a trailer park that has 100. You go down to Rochester Street. How many lots are there?
17, they might only be getting charged for 12.
No,
So-
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking about
that's in the town, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's a business versus somebody who's trying to rent out an apartment, for somebody. So there might be a line in there somewhere that you could make a variation between a business and somebody that's.
I appreciate your perspective. And again, it has been on the other side of that for a long time, where people with multiple units have only paid the one base unit. I'm not saying that was fair, and I'm not going to say necessarily going to a full-on number of units per base unit is going to be 100% fair for everyone either. So there's only so much we can do when it comes to counting poop, unfortunately. It's a difficult thing to quantify. Unlike water, it is very difficult to do. And if you look at your water bill, it's more expensive to deal with refuse and waste than it is to actually get water. So those are the realities that the village is dealing with. So certainly willing to hear, but we do have before us a public hearing. So
Any other comment?
This is your.
So how about we open the public comment time period?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed it was open.
I assume you didn't go. No, let's officially say it.
I thought it was open.
Well, I just want to make sure that officially it has been open, and
Yeah.
we will give it 30 minutes.
I
So
think we have one.
yes,
David?
yes.
Just more of a question, really, but I know when they were doing the
I'm going to ask you if you could stand up. I'm having trouble seeing
Sure.
yours. I apologize.
when they were doing the new water district,
Right.
for single-family residences, there was some sort of allocation to multiple units of this is how many, I forget what the word was, but equivalents, single-family equivalents or something like that. And it wasn't necessarily how many units they had, but it was more than one. And maybe the right answer is something along those lines, to look at those on a case-by-case basis and say, okay, there's 17 units here, and maybe that's really, should have like 5 base rates or something like that. I don't know.
Are there any other comments from the audience? We will move on and hold open that for another 20 minutes. Thank you. We're going to move on to department reports. Fire department, please.
Okay, I'll keep it brief and hit the high points tonight. So in terms of training, we're about 95% done with our annual mandatory training. We had a couple people that weren't able to make the first iteration. They have an opportunity to make that up tomorrow night when we're doing the same training up at the ambulance. The new apparatus transition, the new pumper 234 is ongoing. We've been working on it since mid-December. We're about halfway there in terms of operator qualifications, and that's going to continue. We hope to put that in service here on the 23rd of February. And then we did get our energy conservation bulb replacement thing done last week, Thursday and Friday at the firehouse, so that is complete to my knowledge. At least the guys over there said it was complete. We're applying for 2 grants right now. We're in that process. One's the New York State grant for volunteer firefighters, and then the FEMA grant. I think we're definitely competitive for the New York State one. That's due on the 18th of February. We're actually going to submit that this Friday. We're almost done with that. And then the FEMA grant is not due for a few weeks, but we're doing that through a grant writer. We used them last year, so this year they're going to reapply for us at a pretty reduced cost. So our worksheets had to be in yesterday for that, and that's completed. There, so we'll get a chance to look at that narrative. But we are applying for both of those, and we're using both of them to apply for SCBA's. $250,000 thereabouts is what we're in there for. Probably the biggest news on here to talk about is that 235, and I know you were at the meeting, we talked about it. The current frontline pumper, when we took it in for inspection this year, a significant degradation in the frame was noted. It really needs immediate repair. If we do nothing to the apparatus, that apparatus is already 15 years old. We expected to get it another 10 years, 25 years is kind of the target, how long it would last. If we did nothing to the apparatus right now, it would probably fail within a year or maybe 2 at best, and we would be out in apparatus replacement costs. If you buy a used one, $300,000 at best, up to $1 million. So we contacted a frame repair company. They took a look at it. They won't know exactly how much it will cost until they get in there, but the initial estimate was they don't think it'll exceed $20,000. It'll be a 2-week repair. They're going to have to lift the cab off, do some work on the frame, put some new metal in there, weld it in there, bolt it in there, and places where the frame rails have rotted out to the point where it's structurally or on the verge of being structurally unsound. So obviously we don't have $20,000 sitting around, so we were asking to release $20,000 out of the apparatus reserve fund in order to make this emergency repair. And the frame guy said we should be able to get another 8 years out of the apparatus with us. So it's not perfect. We still might not get to the 10 years that we really need, but it's a lot more than 2 years. And they're going to do everything they can to get us to that point. So that's the one thing that I'm asking for, that we could do that request so that we can pay them. Right now, they cleared their schedule for us, kind of due to the priority of it. Right now, it's scheduled to go in on the 2nd of March, so it would be out, potentially on the 16th of March. And I told them we might not have the money available because we got to wait 30 days normally. And they said that wouldn't be a problem. They'll invoice us, and we can pay them afterwards. But right now, they said their best estimate is it'll be slightly under $20,000 unless they uncover something catastrophic when they get in there.
Chief, they're pretty confident with that number? Because
Yeah,
you had mentioned, I think, like 50 or 60.
the original, if the whole frame had to be repaired, it was going to be around $50,000. When they did the assessment, they found that the front half of the frame is still in pretty good shape. It's just the rear half, so they're pretty confident that when they get in there that they can just replace the rear half and not the whole thing. Now, if they do get in there and it's not what they exactly, because it's hard to see because of the way the cab sits on there, they won't really know until they lift the cab off. But they right now, the quote is for just under $20,000.
I'm going to ask, is there a requirement because of the dollar figure that it be made public or to bid, or because of this emergency, are we?
It has to be advertised because it's coming from reserves.
Yeah, because it's coming from reserve, we gotta wait 30 days.
Yeah.
So we can advertise it and we'll have it not much,
Right. No, that, and they understand that. I told them that, it would be, I told them from tonight, it'd be 32, 35 days somewhere in there before we'd be able to release the money, and they understood that, and they didn't have a problem with it. DEC grant, we should hear back this Friday on that. We applied for that. It's a $5,000 grant. They would provide $2,500. We provide $2,500. Asked for a thermal imaging camera to replace one that was taken out of service and some wildfire fighting gear. We're still working with the Livingston County Water Authority on District 5 and the hydrant design, and NOCO on the pre-incident plan there. Talked about the grants there. And then 234 is coming along pretty good. We've had to order quite a bit of equipment just in the transition, but it was all expected. It was nothing that we haven't hit anything really that we didn't know about. A couple minor things here and there, but we're on track with that, and that should come into service on the 23rd of February, just before the other one goes out of service. So potentially by mid-March, we'll have both of them back in service and in a better spot.
And coverage for 235 when it goes out, again, that our neighboring fire departments are aware?
Yeah, they're aware. I mean, that's where we're at right now, because we have to take the old 234 out of service, and the new one's not in service, so we're at one pumper right now, and that essentially will just continue until the middle of March.
Yeah. Do we need a motion to make a request for?
You want a motion to let Lissa to advertise for the transfer of reserve funds, I don't know, up to $25,000, is that?
Yeah, why don't we go 25, I think, just to
Yeah,
save some. Yeah.
seems safe.
I don't think that would be necessary.
I'll make a motion to advertise to take out 25,000
Put the reserve fund for frame repair.
fire department.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Chief, one last question. I know you guys are working on training on the newer truck. You had to wait for it to warm up a little bit. I see some warmer weather. Are you gonna hopefully get that training?
So we did one iteration last week, and we have another one, we did another one yesterday, and then we'll have another one this coming Monday. So yeah, we're taking advantage of the slightly warmer weather where the hoses won't freeze up and stuff.
Chief, I had one question. I understand New York State passed a law that requires fire departments to use equipment that's no older than 20 years. Will that affect us? Or is it for professional?
It's mostly for professionals. There are some aspects in there, but as I looked at, there's nothing in there that really pertains to us.
Thankfully. Not that we love using old equipment, but it's a, so as we go into, the village moves into their budget cycle, we got through a lot of hard work on your part, very lucky to replace 235 at a cost of a third or less than we had expected. So now we're still looking at 234 was replaced.
Yeah.
235 is going to be within 8 years.
Yeah.
And 1.8 million for a new truck.
For a new one, yes.
So our reserve fund needs to grow.
Yeah, I mean, there's three critical apparatus over there that are in very, are all pretty antiquated. 235 is 8 years away, best case scenario.
Yeah.
236 is already 5 years past its targeted date, but we can get by with that, I think for another 5-10 years. And then, the aerial truck, we've only had it for 10 years, but we bought it used, so it's already a 22-year-old piece of apparatus. So you have three apparatus that probably in the next 15 years that need to be replaced. If you were to buy all three new, you're easily talking $3.5–4 million. So, as I said, we are probably in the used truck business for the foreseeable future. So we're constantly on the hunt and looking for a bargain, a steal, kind of like we got with the current 234. And if we see something out there that really meets our needs and is at a really good price, then we're going to take a hard look at it, because we have several apparatus needs coming up.
You have the board support. Thank you very much. Next is Chief Rose, Andrews.
I will just hit on hot topics as well. You guys had the report. We had 49 calls last month. We covered all of them. We had a decent number of mutual aid calls. The report looks a little different than it did last year. I made some shifts to try and answer some questions that have been coming up consistently. So you can see now whether calls are standbys versus transports, which helps answer questions about how that, because we know that transports are our billables. So just because that question kept coming up, I got that plate that's added in there. So that, I think that's something that's really different on there. I just broke that out a little bit so that it made it a little clearer. On the other side, the base has been used quite a bit. We've got 10 rentals this past month, so that's keeping us very busy. Again, putting a plea out, if anyone has knee scooters or wheelchairs with leg rests that they borrowed from the ambulance base, if we can get them back, because we are out. You guys have 2 applications. One's for someone who wants to become an EMT and is enrolling in the EMT class. Another one is an EMT that's looking to join us. There's approximately 225 hours of administrative work that was put in by the officers last month. We're going to be tracking that a little bit more closely, so that'll be included in your reports. 281 continues to have some electrical challenges. We had trouble with it holding a charge this month. Thankfully, Scott was able to do some work on it, and it seems to be doing better. We're looking at pricing out AEDs, given the fact that we're down 1 at the moment, and we're having trouble getting the replacement batteries in. And still investigating oxygen booster systems so that we can get the last of our oxygen out of our tanks so that we're not having a cost loss with that. We switched out our security system that was for the inside of the base. We were using an Amazon system for that and closed down that account, and we continued with West Fire, who's already providing the security for the outside of the ambulance. So now all that system's linked. The same lighting project the fire department had. We had people out last Friday and then again on Monday. I think they're done. Hard to say. But I'm assuming everything's done there. And we are working on all our HR trainings this month. And we are moving forward. We have 3 different grant opportunities that we're working on. We submitted one on Monday. We've got another one that should be hopefully going in the next couple weeks. So we've got a few different options there. Nothing significant coming out of our county meetings or MELREMs, but we are moving forward like we talked about last month with the SGAs and iGels. We got the official word yesterday that we can move forward with that, so we're going to get that piece moving and then we'll be able to implement that. Any questions for me?
Could you just make a comment, because it's such a positive addition, your meeting with Pat?
Oh, yeah, so that was on the list, yeah. So we are meeting with a mental health specialist and setting up some different trainings for our members with a focus on EMS mental health and making sure that we are protecting our members, and also doing some discussion around death discussions and when we encounter death on a scene and how to best be able to communicate with families in those situations. Thank you, Erica, for your attention.
That's very positive. Yesterday I had a discussion. We started our IT budgeting. Couple of things came up that would include the ambulance building. One is that some of the infrastructure is as old as a building, so over 20 years. That would probably need some upgrade. And
Infrastructure of what?
Some of the IT infrastructure.
IT.
IT, yes.
So like computers?
Information technology infrastructure is 20 years old and will need some upgrade. And that as a redundancy, the village-owned and the ambulance building serves as a good backup because it has a generator. So that we will be looking from a village standpoint for IT utilization at the village base. So certainly something for you to understand will be a discussion as we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, you guys already have the server that is
We do,
housed
right.
at
And
the...
so don't just be,
Okay.
we're talking about upgrades and redundancies to allow for, God forbid, there's this place burns down, we have an immediate ability to conduct business of the village through the servers at the base.
Okay.
Just one more. When you have the base rentals, where does that money go?
There's no cost.
Oh, there's no cost for any of it. Okay. We're not charging those. Okay. Just wanted-
Sometimes you'll make a donation, but there's no cost for that.
There's no cost. Okay. No, that was a question that someone asked, how much was, where it was. So
Yeah.
So,
I think if she does get a donation, though, Mike keeps it because she buys all the
no, I
cleaning
understand.
supplies and the cleaning and stuff down
Yeah,
there.
it's a completely different, if we were renting it, you know, we would go and went to the building fund, say, if it's not physically being rented. then-
We call it a rental, but I
Right.
don't know what else to call it. It's like,
No.
it's use of the baits.
Yes.
And those, a member goes up and locks everything down so that it's secure, and the only access they have is the bathrooms and the conference room, and make sure everything's clean, make sure there's toilet paper in the toilets,
Yeah.
you know, all of that sort of stuff, and then does a cleanup round afterwards. So. But yeah, there's no cost
Any
associated.
security
with it.
deposit?
No, because we don't take any money. There's no.
Well, I mean, just in case they, you know, use all.
We take their name and contact information.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm too trusting. I just assume that everyone's going to do it and I is not going to abuse the process.
This guy over here, our lawyer.
He wrote up the little contract like information that we
Fair
give
enough.
them. So there is like a little thing that says like no open flames except for birthday candles, and you know, be on your best behavior, put it back the way you found it, and I don't know, some lawyer jargon.
If you want something more formal, I'm happy to.
No, I'm sure we can keep going until we don't have to, so that's
I
fine.
mean, it's mostly like it's scouts.
I understand the scouts that use it, we're thankful that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
high
It's
maintenance.
No,
I think
it's fine.
it's birthday parties, it's scouts, it's a few little baby showers. It's
Meetings.
I don't know, nothing.
Bloodmobile.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the blood drives are there.
Absolutely.
I had the mayor over there today. He's like, "What are you guys doing? There's so many cars." I'm like, "I have no idea what is happening." I'm like, "Oh, it's a blood drive." Okay.
Well, thank you for providing that additional service to the community.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you. And I have an IT question that I'll send an email through regarding some HIPAA issues that just arose from our IT discussion and internet security, security issues. So I'll forward that through to you for further discussion as we go forward. Okay.
We can make a motion to approve the 2 new people coming in.
Yep.
I'll motion for both, I'm not going to say how to say that name, so for both these people to approve them to come on the line ambulance.
We have a second?
And Tricia.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Just leave them right in here. I'll take it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is our wastewater treatment plant.
I'll go through this quick. Flows are up. We did almost 6 million gallons. Everything's running pretty good. The cold weather really hasn't affected the plant too much. We've been keeping the ice down. The snow on the ground's helping insulate the ground a little bit. We got one water line that's leaking, but it's nothing. They can't wait till spring when it's a little easier to fix. We've been enough warm days. We've been able to get the hoses out, keep the tanks clean. Everything's looking pretty good. It's been a pretty productive month. The DPW crew came down. We got the basement painted, the walls. The floor is going to be next, and the piping will be tackled after that, so we'll get at least the basement up in good shape and looking good. Snow removal between the plant and uptown. I've been helping out up there a little bit. That's been taking quite a bit of time, but it's winter. What are you going to do? The DPW crew also came down and helped me for a day. There's an old trailer out back. We got that all cleaned out. Just to organize a bunch of stuff out of the pole barn so we can start making room. The auger that we bought from Dansville to replace the one in the headworks. I want to get that out soon and start tearing it down so we can get it all rehabbed to like new condition. So we needed room for that. So again, cleaning out the pole barn. A lot of little odds and ends last month, but that's about what last month was. Right now, we're trying to get everything all set. There is a lot of snow on the ground. We're going to get some rain. As soon as all this melts, basically we got to get a lot of influent into the sewer system, and our flows are going to start going up. So we're just making sure all the pumps are primed, ready to go, greased, serviced, that everything is in good shape. The only issue that's really come up is there's a 3-inch gas pipe that comes through the wall of our primary digester that's leaking. It's leaking around the concrete in the pipe, and I'm in the process of building a steel flange that'll bolt to the concrete and compress a gasket in there. And I don't know, I can't really find an actual fix for it, so we're making that to see if it'll work, which it should.
Is that a gas leak or a water leak?
Water leak, excuse me.
thank you.
they're sealed tanks. They collect the gas at the top, and the gas is used to help mix the tank. So the gas runs through the pipe, and the liquid is on the outside of the pipe in the tank, and it's leaking between the steel pipe and the concrete wall. So the liquid that's in the digester is seeping out. So hopefully this, if it works, it'll be a good long-term fix. Should not have a problem again for a long time. And hopefully that'll be in place by the end of the week. So we will see if it works. Ongoing is still the boiler system we're working on, but I haven't done too much to it. It's been so cold. I don't want to risk touching something and taking it out of service while the weather's so cold. So as soon as things warm up, we'll get back to work on that. Talked to M&W Electrical, the PLC board that they ordered that we had to approve the funds for. They're still waiting on that coming in. Talked to them 2 weeks ago, and they were leaving for Florida for vacation. They were going to let me know when they get back from Florida if the part came in and get it scheduled to go in. Should be a fairly quick install, I think, other than they have to program it. What are we doing? I would like, by the end of this month, I want to go around and do a few manhole inspections. I know as we were cleaning them, I was doing some notes. I just want to get a better idea of some small issues that we can try and fix in-house to fix a little bit of the influent problem. In March, I'd like to go out and kind of see what the process is, if it is possible to rehab some of these in-house rather than hiring out to have it done. A lot of them are over our capacity, but I think there's some repairs that we can at least start tackling on our own. By spring, depending on how the budget looks at the end, I don't know. I sent Alyssa a picture. I don't know if that gets if everybody saw it.
It's not color, sorry.
That's okay. Basically, the pole barn that goes over our drying beds and also the bag drying, there's never been any drainage around it, and over the years, as the driveway's been fixed, it lets more and more water pool next to the posts. About 12 or 15 of the posts are all rotted out. It would be a very big and expensive job to try and take all of them out and redo it all at once. Some of them aren't in that bad a shape, so I'd like just every year to try and replace 3 or 4 of them. And then especially I'm not taking out so many supports that I have to build fake walls or anything. I can just take a couple out, replace them. And then I would like to install, it's about 250 foot of drainage in front of the building, replace the gravel, get it all in nice looking shape so it's working the way it's supposed to again. Don't think it'd be more than $2,500, and again, that just depends if there's a little money. I would like to get that in this year's budget, but it can go in next year's. It's not a big deal. And I think that is about it.
It's a very nice pavilion. Is that also available for children's party rental?
Absolutely. Wear your rubber boots.
Thank you for trying to do that in-house, though. It makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, there's a few things coming up. I'm trying to be as low on the budget as I can to bank some money, just for some equipment upgrades, just for options in the future. We should come in about on budget this year, with some money going into the reserve. I'd like to kind of do similar next year, be as easy on the budget as I can, so we can hopefully bank a little more into the reserves. So far it's working that way as long as nothing big breaks. This year, 2026, which would end up probably being next year, I'd like to get M&W in just to go through some electrical issues at the plant and kind of solve some answers for me. The only added thing I was going through with Alyssa, the national fuel, national electric bills, or national grid. I don't understand the electric bills. So that's the only thing I'm not sure what our final budget for the last few months is going to be in the electric, because they just don't make any sense. Whether I have low usage and they still cost a lot, or the higher usage and they're cheaper, it's mind-boggling. The fuel bill, they have way overestimated me. I tried to do a manual meter reading, but because it's so much lower than what they've currently got me on, they won't let me do a manual meter reading. So I'm going to try and call them tomorrow. That might get us 2 or 3 months of free gas. We've just been able to conserve fuel a little bit, and they assumed we were going to use a whole lot more with this cold weather. So hopefully that'll be a little easier on the budget. And that is about all I got.
Well, thank you very much. I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
The sanitary inflow study from MRB, you're familiar with this?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure, and we're making progress as we can on that. I know a lot of it might end up with Ben, and he's doing what he can, but
Yeah, it's kind of, there's,
it's everybody a little bit helps.
yeah. So some of that is going through the manuals, trying to find out what of that we can fix ourselves, and it would just be a huge expense to have whatever.
So I did talk to Pat about that. We went through, we're going to try to get a priority list of pick maybe 8 to 10 things that we'd like to do, sitting down with David, get that so that he could write that up for a grant. To do the whole thing is just astronomical. We can't afford that. We've already got 2 bonds going out for the sewer. We can't take another bond out to pay $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 to go through and fix everything going through. So what we were trying to do and talking about is if we can pick 8 to 10 things, maybe there are $100,000 worth of things we can pick out, and it's an 80-20 grant, we can pay $20,000. Okay. We can't do the big thing. So it's just a time thing of trying to figure out, go through and prioritize some of the stuff in that study.
No, that's great. Thank you. I just you mentioned it. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I got the map of that hanging on my wall with all the little stars and red marks to see.
About what percentage of the capacity are we using now
Of the plant?
of the plant? I don't want to run into a problem. Again, I don't want to. The town of Avon, the village of Avon, ran into a problem with reaching capacity that they shared with us. And
So we can do 300,000 gallons. We're rated for 300,000 gallons a day.
Okay.
Most of the year, like right now, we're down around 140 to 200,000. In the spring, we push close to the 300. And if we do, I believe we get not in trouble, but it starts getting reportable if we're over 80% for more than 3 months. So if we hit over like 270 gallons or 270,000 gallons a day for 3 months, that's when the DEC starts thinking we're having some problems. In general, we're pretty good. It's just wet weather kind of kills us.
No. And again, you're not in charge of that.
No, there's nothing I can do. The water comes regardless of what I do.
No, I just want to make sure that we understand our position.
Yeah, I think Avon was in a lot rougher shape than we are. We can still handle what's coming.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Brian, it's time to close the public hearing.
Thank you for your services, guys. It's the public hearing for local law number 1 and proposed water and sewer base increases is now closed.
Can I just make one more question about the water and the sewer? Alyssa, we used to have like complicated, like 8 different rates for water or sewer. Would this like allow us to just have one like uniform rate?
So that's what we're going to for the sewer. We're still gonna have 2 rates. So because of the inside and outside village.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll still
that.
have those, but I did consolidate before down to where we had 5 total, 2 water, the 2 sewer, and then that flat rate. So when we changed this, that was another thing, when we're changing this, we're getting rid of that flat rate charge.
Okay.
And everyone is going to be on the base and then per thousand
And the
rate.
people who were on the flat rate were like the trailer park or something.
So some of the trailer parks, I don't,
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know
But-
the reason why.
But it was multiple
but it was,
unit
there were
places.
multiple unit places. Some of them were trailer parks, but some of them still had the per thousand rate on there too. So
Yeah, well,
I'm not really sure how it came to that, but either way, we're gonna get rid of that flat rate because when we did, when I went through, we did the analysis on there. It was only like a $300 difference between the 2 of them, so it made more sense to just eliminate the flat rate and get everything on the same billing.
so just four different rates.
Yep.
Good.
Consolidated. So I'd like to have a motion to close the hearing on local law number 1, close the hearing also on proposed water and sewer base rate increases.
I'll motion to close both of those hearings.
Do we have a second? Second, Mr. Dodwood, and all in favor? Now we need to pass the law?
We do.
Okay.
Individually.
Can I have a motion to pass local law number 1 of 2026 to amend the village code, allow for abatement of violations? Do I have a motion for that?
I have a motion to, for the local law number 1, 2026, amending the Village of Lima Code to allow for abatement of violations.
Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That law passes. 4, public proposal of water and sewer base rate increases for multi-unit dwellings. Do I have a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion to accept the proposed water and sewer base rate increase for multi-unit homes.
Do I have a second? Second from Mr. Dowd. We have all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
You know, I don't know, I just don't feel like I have enough information still about this. You did speak about that like a month or two ago at a meeting, correct?
And I gave it and I passed out
Yeah.
all the information.
All right, the motion passes 3-1. Do you need to sign anything? Or you can have the mayor sign
The
it?
mayor will.
That's fine. No, that's fine. Anyway. We'll move on to the CEO. Charlie?
I have a question for Matt and this local law. Is there to be added to their taxes, is there a path, a flow chart for me to follow in reference, they go email me?
If it comes to it, talk to Alyssa and I, and we'll figure it out from there. That is the tactic.
Because it's like you've got to send them 3 letters before, is it, that's going to be the same process?
Just talk.
I've got to send them 3? Okay.
Yeah,
You're-
talk to me. We'll figure it out.
I didn't
It's the same. It's the same process.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was doing something different or if it's
Nope.
the same process.
Same process, except at the end of the process, we're not getting the result we want. There'll be an extra step or two, but we can help you with that when it comes to it.
Good. Thank you.
And there's deadlines for that as well that I need, so we'll have to work on that. Because if it's going on taxes, I have to turn it in by a certain
Well,
time.
yeah. But before that, usually we have to send people 3 letters or 4 letters and then.
Yeah, nothing's
then I
gonna
would
change
send the
just if they don't
copies to
respond.
Matt.
Yeah.
He would, what's that?
So the process will be, your process will be the same until the very end.
Okay.
At that point, it becomes a real problem, then you and I and Alyssa will talk.
Okay.
Up until that point, the process should be the same for you.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
All right, then there's not a lot of permits in January. There's only 3 permits issued. There were 5 certificate occupancies in the town, 3 in the village, 23 inspections this month, closing out a lot of last year's projects people having done, as well as in-process inspections. The planning and zoning boards are reviewing Bryce Way of JP Auto. That's not in the village. Do you want me to tell anybody about that? No? Okay, because people from the village and the town have stopped into my office, asking what's going on. But I put it in my report there. If anybody in the public here has a question, I can answer it. A couple other things. The rooster, Sean's not here, but the rooster has been removed from 7249 West Main Street. There's a whole lot of more activity that happened in the town and in the village. Home renovations in the village of Lima. I spoke to the owner of the 2 College Street properties and told him that the village is concerned that it's sitting there doing nothing. And he's like, well, it's been a really cold winter. We're planning on doing it spring, and I've already sent him out new permits, and he's got to pay for new permits because they are going to lapse before spring gets here. And then keeping track of village and town percentage of activity has been pretty much 50-50. Is there any other? There's a lot more about my report about what happened in town than in the village, but. Was
The
there any
rooster's all we
questions?
care about.
What's that? I know.
The rooster, that's all
I
we
know,
care
but people are like, we don't want JP Auto opening again because we don't want 100 cars parked out in front of the place. So, any questions from anybody?
Nope, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
I'm all set. Anyone else? All right, thank you. Ben, DPW.
Yep.
Been pretty busy.
Since last month,
Thank
we've
you,
had a busy month to contend with. Weather has not been our friend. We had a couple water main breaks. Fortunately, they were both on the same day. One was up on 15A, where we actually had 2 water main breaks within 15 feet of each other. At the same time, we also had a break on McDonald Drive, popped within 45 minutes of the first one. We notified the county because they are also part owners for the one on 15A. They came out and they helped us with what we had to do. I also contacted the town, and Sean came out and helped us dig it because there was so much water in the area. Our backhoe could only get so close to it to go, so Sean came out and helped us with that. Between the 3 entities and us, we had all the water mains fixed, band-aided up, and we're backfilling by 6 o'clock at night. And we were able to keep enough water in the water tower that we got it filled back up and pressurized rather quickly. So, and that was right before we had the 14 hours of plowing the next day, kind of thing. So we've been busy with a bunch of stuff coming through, but with the crew and the help of the town and the county, we got through it. Salt-wise, I know you've seen things on TV about salt and shortages and stuff like that. We're in good shape. I just put another order in. Once this one comes in, we'll probably be about 85% of our capacity in our storage side. We've almost got our allotment for what we're going to order, but we're looking good for the salt and staying on top of it. So we're good there. As both Dickie and Meg mentioned, we did get the lighting, the LED lighting replacement project is done complete. They finished up Monday, so I helped get them into all the buildings, and we were getting some of their stuff taken away from it and everything. But all the lights are done at the pump house, the ambulance facility, firehouse, and at the shop. So that's all done. I met with the leaf machine tractor guys there, both of them last week. We're still working on projects to try and get some bids in for that. Hoping to have something, we're hoping April, May-ish, that we're going to have some bids in, and I'm going to try to run through the CHIPS program, so I'll keep you up on that. And other than that, throughout the winter, we've had, our equipment is holding up pretty good. We've had some breakdowns and things like that. We've been making a bunch of repairs in-house and some stuff. We're holding up, they're going good, and hopefully winter's going to be over with in another couple weeks. So,
How would you and the guys hold up?
tired.
Need cookies?
No, we're good. We're holding in there. So got a reprieve coming up this upcoming weekend. It's supposed to be nice Friday through Monday, so
Some milk.
it'll be nice. Other than that, that's where we stand with the crew.
Well, thank you very much. I drove by American Rock Salt the other day, and I've never seen the pile gone.
Yeah.
So thank you for keeping on top of that supply.
Just a quick question. On the 15A, is that our new water main?
No,
broke?
the new as of 1987.
Oh, what's 15A?
Up there.
North.
Yeah,
Oh,
going
okay.
north.
It's over by Bristol.
Matter of fact, it's about 300 feet from the one that is 2017 drained the entire tower,
Yeah.
and we got sucked dry kind of a thing. So we were just up from there. We had it was the same kind of issues. I mean,
Yeah.
the panic side, I'm not even going to go into it with everything coming through, but it was good. We had to move quick. Now, the good thing is, from the experience in 2017, helped prepare me for how we handled this one, and that's why we still had water throughout the day.
Okay. Now, did you have to tap into the emergency line?
We did, we turned it on, and we did draw some water off of Avon. However, Avon had some earlier issues and their tower wasn't completely full. So the emergency line and resource works well if they are also in good shape.
Because their tower's lower than
Their tower's lower than ours, so they can only fill us so much. But
Okay.
they were I met with them once again, called over to Avon, they said, Jeff, met the guys over there, we turned the valves, and we had that going. So like I said, as unfortunate as 2017 was, 2017 helped prepare us for this one, because it could have been the exact same thing. The water main broke about 8:30 in the morning, where my first phone call came to me, and I found the leak right away coming back, because you couldn't miss it as we were coming. There was that much water filling up the farm field, but knowing which way to turn valves off, knowing that I could pressurize the system from the pump house and keep water coming through, we were able to stretch it out, to keep water in the village for as long as we did. So it was exciting.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. Really.
I do have a question though, Ben.
Yep.
I noticed, in the after we got the notice, there were water breaks, and
Yep.
that was fantastic, thank you for that. But then I noticed your name was attached to how we should handle the water in our homes.
Yep.
don't get, don't turn your hot water tank on, you want to use your cold water. So is that?
That was a recommendation from the mayor. As a plumber, the issue is that if you happened to be any silt in your line, they would go in, if you turn on your hot water, it ends up in your hot water tank and system, and then fouls that moving forward.
Well, I understand that. I'm looking more like, like he's the plumber, but shouldn't there be like the Department of Health or something that should be issuing some kind
No,
of
so
advisory around that?
no, because we did, the lines were still pressurized for the allotted amount of time. After a leak is going on for so long, which we weren't to that state, you have to do a boil water advisory, which we didn't reach that.
Okay.
The lines that we did were under pressure, except for the small window of time that we did not have them, where we actually did the leak and repair. So we followed the DOH guidelines coming through before we had to do any notices like that.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that, yeah, because I just thought it was.
No, like, for instance, the one on McDonald Drive, everybody had water coming through for the most part. We did that one live. You know what I mean? So we didn't lose a lot of pressure on it. I mean, things got turned down to a point, but we still had water and pressure on the lines coming through.
So anything in the future, it would really come from you contacts the DOH?
Yep, I contact them when we get to a point. I call DOH if we get over our limits.
Okay, that's how that process would work.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yep.
Anything else for Ben?
And they're still using the duck waders?
Yes, and they still do keep us warm.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's a hypothermic
Aaron
situation.
was in the water, just sitting there hanging out while we were waiting for the pump to kick back on, and the water was up to chest level, and he was in the waders, and they work. As silly as we look, we're not there for
not
a
silly.
beauty contest, kind of thing. So no,
I
it
did
worked
share
out
a picture of
fine.
that, and got a lot of comments about how
Yeah.
frosty it is.
Yep.
Were those heated waders?
No, they're insulated, and they work like the Dickens. They're great.
That was one of those days where it was, what, 15 below zero?
It was cold.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. And thanks to Clerk.
Yep.
Anything else? Good, thank you. Melissa, clerk's report?
So the first thing I have, which I'm going to sign this, is the 2026 Downtown Partnership Program, the Memorandum of Understanding. This is something we contribute to with Livingston County Development. $2,500 each year. It's a great program, but the village has benefited from this. It's a lot of like our businesses when they apply for little grants through Livingston County Development. This helps with that. So we won't pay until next budget cycle, but I'd like to get this sent in sooner than later. So I'd like to ask to approval for John to sign this when he is available.
So I can say that we have, the return on investment of this has been, has been great. So I will make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign that document for
Yeah, it's the 2026
the
Downtown
2026
Partnership Program.
program. So I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried, authorizing Mayor John to sign that when he returns and better.
And I'll just reach out to him and tell him to stop by when he's feeling better. On the same notice, I don't know if anyone gets the emails, I can forward it to you. There's through Livingston County Development, the next downtown roundtable event is on March 24th at Ember at 5:30. Please email Louise Wadsworth if you plan on attending, so she has a head count. The topic for this one is community events, why you need them and how to promote them. So if you don't have the email and you want to attend, just let me know and I can forward it to you. The budget calendar is in everyone's folder. Ben and I did the first meeting. We met, and David too. We met with Jason Donegan's office just to go through and do our projections for the current year. Really the next date that everyone needs to be aware of is Wednesday. So usually we have our budget work session on a Tuesday. Unfortunately, at the end of March, that date doesn't work for Jason, so he did ask if we could just move it to Wednesday. This meeting will be advertised and open to the public. So Wednesday, March 25th. If everyone can mark their calendars.
Can I just make a note on that? Last year was the first year when public input was not allowed during that work session. I would just like to encourage the board to open that up, because that's a place where, you know, the board still has time to make changes that the public might have. If you wait till the public hearing, you're usually approving the budget that night, and you're not going to maybe change anything at that point.
Okay. That's gonna also be at 6 o'clock. Does 6 o'clock work for everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So that's that. And then, just to kind of follow up with the budget for our March meeting, we're going to need to hold a public hearing. We'll advertise for local law number 2 of the year to, and that's to override the tax cap. Doesn't mean that we're going to go over the tax cap. All that law does is just give, you know, the authorization that if you have to, you can go through and
Do
do
we know
that.
what the tax cap is this year?
We don't have the full calculations.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone knows, you pass a law every year that gives you the ability to exceed the tax cap, which is always right around 2%.
2.8.
To 3%, so that's commercial, Jim. So when you're in the budget process and you need to do it, it's ready to go. You don't have to, and if you don't exceed the tax cap, that's fine. But passing the law puts you in a position to be able to do it if you need to. So.
So everyone's good with advertising that for next month?
Yes,
Okay. I brought this up to Ben a couple weeks ago. I had some requests for a paper that had all of the important dates for the year to be sent. I guess it used to be sent with a water bill that people could have. Not specifically the newsletter. I don't think that's as efficient because we have everything monthly on the water bills, but there was a separate piece of paper that was sent out that listed all of the dates for like the brush pickup, hydrants, fireworks, the parades, everything that was going
It
on.
was like quarterly or half year?
Nope, this one was actually one sheet that had everything,
Okay.
all of like the main.
It used to go out the first quarter, so we would send it out with the March bill, and it would have everything, I would write up everything for the year to give people a heads up. Now, there was always some additions you'd have to keep your eyes out for, but it gave you an idea that we were flushing hydrants at the time when she
Yeah.
said this and that. We would have the Crossroads Festival dates on there, the fireworks, July 4th, just a little
Clean up.
reminder, so you put it on the refrigerator, and you'd be able to kind of just have an idea of stuff coming out, and then we would update it throughout the year if something changed.
So I'm gonna send, either way, I'm gonna send one of those back out, with the March bills, just for everyone
And
to
I would
have.
only, sorry, I would only ask that within that, you also inform the public about the GoGov app that for updates and an alternate format to see those dates, so that we can ultimately transfer it over to an electronic format.
Yeah, I just thought it would be a good idea to
Oh.
send this one out again to have that piece of paper. And then the only other thing is just the bills.
Could I get a motion to pay the bills to total $82,401.54?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
And do we have, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried, we are paying. We'll make Mayor John sign there when he comes back, better. Committee updates. I will start with the Parks Commission. Ben and I, as you heard at the joint meeting, have given out to both boards a copy of our updated Parks amended. It's actually Amendment 3 of the Parks Master Plan. It goes back to 2019, and it is an update and an amendment that will go to the board now for comment. The boards can make comments through the village board, through us, the town board, through their representatives to the Parks Commission. The next step in that will be, again, as we discussed, going out to a select committee of neighbors and people are super users of the park, they will make another set of comments, again, all public, and then that will then go out to the public for comment as well. Once those comments are brought in, the Parks Commission will consolidate them, make decisions based on all of those comments and thoughts, include them in the final version, and then bring it to both boards for approval. So,
Will that draft plan be put on your website for the public to see?
the draft plan, once it goes into version 3, which is passed through the community group, it will go on to the public committee. So, we're hoping that the idea is, through any committee work, is that you get a core group that comes up with a plan, and you get another larger circle of people who look at that plan, say add or subtract from it, then go slightly larger, and then finally go out to everyone.
Was there any harm to putting out your draft plan now, even before you give it to your committee?
Well, it's been sent to the committee members, or the board members.
But I mean, put it on the website so we all can see it.
We'll consider that.
You mentioned upstairs that if anybody wanted to be a part of that in the joint meeting, I would like to add my name to that.
Okay, well then, if you want to send an email to
Yes.
Deputy Mayor or to Ben, we'll take it to the board, to the joint Parks Commission. There is the size generally will be 12 to 15 as a core group. Then it will go out to the public. So what I would suggest you do is add in your expertise, why you want to be on the board, what do you bring to that group?
Well, one of the qualifications was a neighbor, so I'm a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been around parks and open space.
Yeah, if you again, think of it as an opportunity for you to say what qualifies you to be on, as opposed to some other neighbor.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Could you, Brian, just give me the names of who are the village representatives?
It's myself and Ben Dodgewood.
So just
That's
2,
fine.
but you said you
So-
only have 14.
No, we are the Parks Commission.
I know, I was asking about this committee of 12.
It has not been settled yet. So by all means, if you're interested in joining, send us an email.
So you don't have any members yet?
We have some members, but it's not completed.
Well, can you tell us who they are?
I prefer not to, just because we haven't settled the actual groups.
See, that's the thing, that's what's concerning me.
How so?
It just feels so secretive to me.
It's not
Because I live on Parkside, I know there's people in the audience that live on Parkside, and it just feels like you're hand-picking people that may go in favor of what you want to do, where I just don't think that sounds like it's an equitable way in which to do this.
So so again, it's not an idea of in favor of what we want to do. I've shared with you the amendment. That's what the Parks Commission has decided we are looking at based on what we've done and what we're moving forward through to. We will ask for your opinion. So everyone's opinion is going to be welcomed at some point. The next set of opinions are going to be from, you have an opportunity as a board member.
I
to
understand
do
that, but I'm talking about giving other people in the community and
And they will all, again, they will all have that opportunity at the end of the process. No one in a group process wants to put out something that's 70% completed. We want to get it to the 85 and then to the 95. That's the process that we've chosen. That's the process that has been used for the last 3 amendments, and we're going to stick to that.
Well, and that's not what I'm questioning. I'm questioning, why is it seems so secretive?
Well, it's not secret. You're all welcome to make an application to that.
Well, how does the public know that they can do that?
Yeah, because that's.
Unless they come to one of these meetings.
I just announced it. I'll put it in the.
Let's put it in your newsletter that's going out, or your bill.
I'll put it in the Marks Club Park.
Notice, maybe
No,
we should put
from
a
the Parks
notice or
Commission.
something.
Next, fire department.
Why, I have a,
I'm sorry. We're not an open discussion. This is a board meeting, just so you know.
Don't pull back, Brian.
well, excuse me for,
No, you had an opportunity at the beginning of the meeting to have it, to to make discussions and comments. We're going to move along to the committees.
Never used to work this way on the board.
You can make comments all you want, John, but it is the way it's working now. And there's reasons for that.
Aye, Captain.
And we can have a discussion after the meeting, but we're on to committee meetings, committee updates. Any other committee updates?
I do.
Okay.
Yep, so, again,
Mrs. Ambulance?
I'm just, actually, I'm gonna talk about the summer rec program. Again, just encouraging, the good people out here who are interested in enrolling. Registration's open for grades 1 through 8. And spots are filling up, but then there's certainly more time. And the other piece of this is they're also looking for help. So anybody who would like to work in the summer rec program, applications for that will close as of February 28th. And then, actually, I'm doing the one table.
Where do they find applications?
Yeah, so
for that?
they can just go on the villageofhoneoyfalls.gov, and there's a QR code
So that'll take for anyone that
right to where they need to go, or they can call 585-624-7068, and that will take you right to the community rec program.
Okay, and that's for registration and for employment.
Correct. Yes, there's an actually, if you want to do that, there's, go to villageofhoneoyfalls.gov for the employment, and then look for that in relation to the community job.
Thanks.
Okay.
Any other committee updates? All right, we'll move on to old business. Land purchase from Lima Fire Department. So that's there's an agreement in our packet.
Yeah, so if you recall, this goes back to August, the fire department corporation, and left was here. They selling kind of your regular piece of property along the west side of 15A, so fronting the fire department parking lot. Basically, it's what would block access to the fire trucks. The fire corporation owns it. They have offered to sell it to the village so we can ensure control of it. It includes the shed, for lack of a better term,
Which is in the back.
Yeah, which I believe stores all village material. So the understanding was that we were going to withdraw $40,000 from the building reserve of the fire department for the purposes of giving it to the fire corporation so we could secure this land and this shed. That was discussed August through October, I believe. We voted on it. We now have a contract presented to us from the fire corporation's lawyer. Short of a few things we need to fill in, dates, specific dates and things like that. I think the contract's fine as long as everyone's still on board with the concept. So if everyone's okay with that, we would need a motion to allow Mayor Skitunis to sign the contract once everything's finalized in terms of closing.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the purchase and sale contract and for Mayor Skitunis to be able to sign it. I would say pending final approval by our lawyer.
Absolutely, yeah, pending my final approval.
Have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business. That's Section 9, local law for Village Festival. We are currently planning for the Crossroads Council Festival. We're going through the yearly request for the village to lift the alcohol, the open container laws. I will give our lawyer his opportunity to make the same speech he makes every
It
year.
is my annual time to say that I think it is a bad idea and I think it is unnecessary. I don't think it adds to the festival at all. But having said that, it is obviously it's a board decision. So,
This
Thank you,
year,
Brian.
in the previous years, there has, last year in particular, there was an attempt to work within the stringent laws of the New York State Alcohol Authority. The festival is working on an opportunity to make it a lot more user-friendly and work within the village as a similar way that they do in other villages in New York State. So it's less piecemeal than it was this past year. So part of that would be asking the village to give this open container law a suspension within the downtown region for the dates of the festival.
So that means if a person can drink, where can they do that? Can they walk along the streets? Are you talking?
There will be, yes, there will be one block from the center of downtown where there will be a sign at the entrance of that area saying no alcohol beyond this point.
Okay.
So it opens only for the festival from Thursday to Sunday, so that people can move around the festival. So
are you asking?
I am asking for local law to be changed for the dates of the festival, which are July 30. I'm just going to double check here.
30th through 2nd.
Yep, July 30th through the 2nd of August for open container.
It's not a law. I don't remember.
We usually just do a motion.
We do a motion?
Yeah, we do a motion usually. It's not a law.
Okay. All right. I would ask for the motion in the minutes.
Can you be more specific too? Is it going to be like in front of the Presbyterian Church? Is it down by
It
between
encompasses the
Tyson?
entire one block area, north, south, east, and west from the center of downtown.
Usually it goes from here to Genesee Street,
Okay.
from here to the chiropractors, from
Okay.
the four corners down to the edge of the village lot, per se, and from there to about where the firehouse ends. So it's just the business district for the most part. But that's what.
That's what it usually is, and I
It's
would.
typically termed the business.
And again, Brian and I disagree on this every year.
And we, yeah.
Politely,
We
but
can agree.
I think it's unnecessary. I think it's a bad idea. But if you're going to do it, I would suggest having very clear geographical guidelines and very clear time guidelines. So that's my advice. So,
Well, does the cannabis thing come into play here too? People are, or is that a whole other?
This has nothing to do with cannabis.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Nothing.
ballgame.
It's a whole other ballgame.
Okay, all right, but then this is supposed to be a family event, right? The Crossroads is a family event, and there's the children, you know, I'm just thinking of, from that perspective as well, not only a liability, but just, I mean, why do you have to be all over to drink? If you're gonna be under the tent, you drink there. If you're gonna go to Tyson's, you drink under that tent and kind of call it a...
A lot of it has to do with the arcane nature of alcohol laws in New York State. A place, choose any place, we'll call it Tyson, has a liquor license that, and it's defined geographically only there. So during the festival, they can serve inside of Tyson's just like any other day, but you can't walk outside with a drink served in Tyson's. You cannot walk outside.
Well, okay.
So they have to serve out, and so they would need open law, the open container laws outside in order to serve outdoors under the tents.
Okay, so obviously it's been passed in the past.
Correct.
Yes, because they've got the tents and people are out there in the alley area drinking. Yeah, okay. And I'm not trying to say I'm opposed to helping our businesses make money. It's nothing to do with that. I just,
It's good,
just
again.
concerning,
No.
you know, that you've got people walking around drinking and there's children and it just increases our liability as a village, I think.
It's good, it is good to have concerns.
Yeah.
And the Crossroads Council recognizes
Sure,
those.
sure.
And SLA Solutions is the professional group that helps both some of the bars in town, but also Crossroads Festival to organize in a safe and legal way to serve alcohol. The Crossroads Festival itself does not sell or serve alcohol.
Right, I understand that.
And I don't drink, I don't care about it either, but I think of someone that is drinking, and if I'm bought my drink and you tell me I have to now finish my drink before I walk out of the tent, I'm gonna slam it,
Yeah.
rather than taking my time walking over to the next tent to listen to music
Or to go
enjoy
get a
my
hot
beer.
dog. Let's say you want a hot dog to go with your refreshment. You have to walk down the street to go get a hot dog, you know, that thing. Or to listen to the music, or to go to one of the vendors, or to go support one of the other businesses.
In the past, and I'm, you know, again, the past is not the future, but in the past, we've had more problems with dogs, bites, and
Than people being.
and alcohol-related issues.
Okay.
And that's because there's a very strong sense that even though it's after dark, there is at 5:30, there's a big changeover from
Right.
our attendees, but even from that 5:30 to 11:30, 11 o'clock, there's a strong sense of this is our community, and we want people to have fun, a good time, but not excessively. And they're very strong about not over-serving. The licenses, again, we don't have a liquor license.
Right.
They have a liquor license that they have to protect as well, the businesses that are serving. So they're not going to allow, just because it happens to be the best weekend of the year, that they would over-serve. I will also let you know that Crossroads Council, or Crossroads Festival, attracts approximately 18,000 people to Lima in that 4-day weekend, according to our Place for AI data. So it is a big festival. We are working to streamline the alcohol issue, and that's one of the steps is to have the village lift the alcohol ban, and that is has always been more of an issue of let's do that, but now moving forward, the opportunity to make this a more cohesive alcohol policy for the entire town would require it.
Require a law.
It will require it to be in the minutes that we've suspended the alcohol, the open container law. It will also, we have to approach the sheriff to make sure that they're okay with it. So.
And I'm just giving the multitude of different groups of people that live in our community. Are they at Crossroads? Are they giving any feedback into this? Because again, I'm trying to serve for what the majority wants here. So like was Elam, did they have any input ever into that?
There are, so Crossroads Council does maintain a suggestion box for each at the festival, and we review that every year. We are open to people joining our committees and meeting with us too. So, you're more than welcome to come first Monday of every month.
I have never heard any negative comments on it, and I mean, I think it's because it is a family event for the weekend, and we have never had problems with people getting drunk, and the police presence is there. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not a big deal. It's people are being responsible. They're coming to listen to music, not to be in your 20s and go to a college party. Like, it's a very different feel,
So
Yeah, I mean, I simply say.
Yeah,
I'm like John, I don't review, I don't really have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But to me, I think it's unnecessary in the sense that if people want to walk around with their open drink, the sheriff's not going to arrest anybody. We've talked to the sheriff in prior years. They said if you don't want us to enforce it, we don't enforce it. It's fine. We get it. But I think leaving it in place gives us the ability to enforce it if we need to. If there's a situation, if there's someone acting out of control, for not which again, the past few years there hasn't been any incidents at all that I'm aware of. So.
And again, moving forward this year, because we want to try and work with SLA in a more cohesive way throughout the village, it is one of the requirements is to say that we're lifting that. Then we also talk to the sheriff's department as well. So while it has always been an idea in the past, it is much more today, in order to move forward with a much more cohesive plan, it is a request. Does Dan, so Dan was a
I'm
part of that.
Steve. I'm the secretary for the corporation. Two things. Elements that they actually donate to us.
Okay.
and
See,
help
I don't
us.
have that
So,
information, so I can't, yeah.
it has grown. It is a big budget. There's a lot going on for the few people that drive it. To the attorney's point, what you said about some control, I would suggest that there is time frame added to that that, okay, it's from till 11 PM or something. So you still got that control that if someone's being rowdy or someone from who knows where comes in is causing an issue, you still have that option. So I would say try to keep it to the time frame of the festival, not just all the days, but when the festivals actually happen. That's what I would recommend.
I agree. If you're gonna pass it, and you pass it, you should pass it.
We can make it
But I would just
Thursday.
make it very clear, geographic and temporal in focus.
Right.
So there's no question.
So temporally wise, and I'll just lean on you for confirmation. Thursday, the 30th through the 2nd of August, from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's earlier on Thursday, but yes, I think having that time frame would be,
I don't think you need to
or
start
later.
before 10 a.m.
10 a.m., you gotta have a drink.
I would say,
Come
this
on.
Thursday doesn't
Well,
really.
we start at 10 a.m. and
Wow.
that's just temporary,
Except for Thursday.
contemporaneous with the festival itself.
I like the time frame in there, because really, the live music ends at 11,
yeah.
so that coincides with it. And then if
Exactly.
you're gonna continue drinking, go to the bar and
Exactly.
continue drinking.
And nobody outside, correct.
But not outside. So I'll make a motion, I'll ask for a motion for that, or I'll make the motion to, that the village will suspend the open container law from the dates of July 30th through August 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Motion, second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
See you next year.
Yep, see you next year. And I appreciate your counsel.
I can only give my advice.
Roundtable discussion, we'll start with you, Ben.
Yes. This issue with the Drakes and the sewer, that's been ongoing for like 2 years or something. Can we bring this to a close?
We wish we would. We wish they would drop the case.
So it's their issue.
Yeah, they're the ones suing us.
I see.
Yeah, we of course have met with the attorneys, we've done all the things going through. They just had one, I think it was a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, that the attorneys all got together to go for another dismissal of everything. I don't know how it turned out. It's been ongoing, the Drakes are still trying to proceed with their case. And of course, our village attorneys are trying to defend the village, so I wish it was over, because I'm tired of depositioning the thing all the time.
Case has been going on for quite some time.
Sorry, Matt?
Case has been going on for quite some time.
Yeah.
There's no end in real near sight. We're, just so you know, we're being defended by a law firm out of Buffalo under our insurance policy. So. Who I talk to not infrequently, so they keep me updated on how they're doing.
You see the bill.
Do you see that?
In your time sheets.
Oh, yeah. They don't charge you.
I know. All right, anything else? No. All right, Erica.
Okay, I just want to remind everyone that this Saturday, February 14th, 10 a.m. is the Lima Connecting, Community Connecting Meeting at the Lima Diner. For $10, you can get a full breakfast, plus you have to pay for your coffee. So this is a self-pay for breakfast, and I just invite everybody. It's really been a very positive experience, no politicking or politic discussion involved, and we're just looking forward to a meeting on Saturday.
Lima Diner.
Lima Diner, 10 o'clock.
This Saturday?
This Saturday.
I might be having a grandson, but
And that's it for me.
Typical excuse.
Grandkids.
you're good. I have one thing, and this is actually for you, Erica. As we're moving through discussions about the semi-quincentennial celebration, we were talking about planting a Liberty tree. I was informed that the village may or may not have a tree policy that does not allow for elm trees.
Wasn't aware.
Yeah, I was unaware of it until the Golden Age meeting today. So if we can confirm that, there are several cultivars of elms that are, including the Liberty, which is, I believe, planted in front of the town hall here in the village, that we are looking at that are safe for planting. But we may need to make an adjustment. I don't want to I don't want us to go out and buy a
Well, yeah.
5-inch caliber tree and go to plant it and find out we.
Yeah, you mean it's in the code, you think? Or
I was told that
Okay.
it is
Policy?
the village has a tree policy.
You have a tree policy, yeah.
We have a tree policy, and it is that elms are not allowed to be planted. Was the discussion I had. I do not know for a fact. I just want us to look at it and see before it turns into
Makes sense.
a surprise.
Pinpoint the date of that law probably from that.
Yeah. So, it could be 30 years old, and clearly people didn't want elms planted because of Dutch elm disease and the cost to the village beyond that. Maybe similar to the ash borer issue. Just a reminder, the normal Be Well meetings are on the first Wednesday. Because of illness last week, it is tomorrow here. There's a semi-quincentennial meeting at 6 o'clock and the regular Be Well meeting at 7 o'clock. You're all invited. It'll be right here. I hope we reserve the room. I have nothing else. I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Is there a need for an executive session? I will ask a motion to adjourn and enter executive session. Thank you, everyone.
Could you just say for what purpose?
Personnel.
Personnel? Okay.